everyone, this is Tara Furiani.
And I'm Justin Boggs.
And you're hanging out with Not the HR Lady,
a web series about all things people.
No BS. Look, HR is not a four-letter word.
And this is not the HR Lady.
No.
No.
It is not the HR Lady.
Nope.
Not today, not ever.
No, not ever.
We're beyond that now.
Yeah.
So, in the very first episode, way back like a year ago, we talked about life right now. Is that like Doomsday movie?
Yeah.
Right? Where like Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like we're past that.
Okay.
And we're in like Groundhog's Day
Oh, yeah.
version of life.
Right. Right. It's
Like,
true.
yeah. I mean, it's just like we're all Bill Murray and we're all fucking cranky and just trying to get through it. And like, when will the day fucking change?
Well, here we are again, still talking about systemic racism, bigotry, sexism, and really starting tough conversations to get the fuckery out of the workplace.
Yeah. Last week's episode and live show was pretty great.
It was.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Like having Madison and Reese
Ooh,
and
yeah.
Anna and Michael and Stephanie from Exec Wranglers.
Yes. Thank you, sponsor. Also sponsoring
Yes,
this show.
Also sponsoring this show.
And William.
William.
It
Yeah.
was a lively conversation.
That was a really, really great conversation. And I like how we like kind of got into some stuff that we're actually going to be talking about on the next episode.
So it's so funny. Wendy Sellers, the HR lady. And if you don't know her, you should definitely check her out. She also has a book, which I actually have a copy of right here, The Asshole Whisperer. You should definitely check it out. She actually I was on LinkedIn right before we started filming, and she had just commented that she added her pronouns based on that conversation that we had, which was not even the topic.
Yeah.
It's actually the topic of next week's show.
Right. A lot of people were talking about
Yes.
like, oh, I should change this. I should at least add this.
Right. Here's why it matters.
Yeah.
So if you didn't
matters.
hear why it matters and you're curious, you should definitely go and check it out. Find it right on our website at notthehrlady.com. Go under shows. It is the last episode up there. This is during our live after show with a whole bunch of people. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, you should.
So it's officially Black History Month.
Yeah.
Yeah, or so we're told, right? I mean,
Right.
Everybody, I think, has seen so many things who's on social media. And if you watch our show, you're probably on social media, where a lot of people are talking about and sharing things that Black History Month starts on January 1st and it ends on December 31st. That this is not just a month-long celebration.
No, I agree. I mean, it's not just confined to this month, which is the shortest month of the year, by the way.
Yeah.
So, like, why is it so hard to grasp that Black history is also American history?
Because racists.
And that's bullshit.
No, it's total bullshit.
I mean,
like, look, in school, think about this. Like, so I went to school in, the 80s and 90s, was elementary and high school. And you're not even really taught anything about Black history then. I mean, we teach kids about Christopher Columbus, for crying out loud. And yet we don't, the most attention anybody gets is Rosa Parks and MLK, and that's it. I don't even think they're teaching Barack Obama yet as the first African-American president, and that's in people's lifetimes. Right now, my kids are not learning. Right, my kids are still learning about Plymouth fucking Rock. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, can we all just move past whatever bullshit was translated time and time again and get to real history, real stuff?
Yeah.
Like, can we go back to the 1600s and talk about how Africans were taken from their homes forcibly and enslaved into boats into the U.S.? Like, let's learn about that. I know it's ugly.
And a small fraction of them actually made it here.
Yeah, exactly. Like a really tiny percentage. And then so many people don't even understand that racism and slavery and stuff really predates the U.S. Like the slave trade happened a full 200 years before it ever happened here in the U.S. There's so much that we are not educating our youth on that is just so much more fucking important than Christopher Columbus. Okay? I said it.
I agree 100%.
So I don't know. You mentioned, we mentioned, and we've been talking a little bit about that it's Black History Month. This episode is actually called "But I Know Black People," right? As that common, that
common phrase of like, well, I can't be racist because I have black friends, or I know a black guy, so I'm not racist.
You know that we champion for people of color, the LGBTQ community, of course, women, every month, not just in February. But what's crazy is how little people know about why this month in particular, Black History Month, is even a thing, what it actually celebrates. And frankly, it's a month for organizations to get wrong in their celebrations. And I want to talk about that. We're going to share some actionable anti-racism steps that companies, leaders, and individuals can take or start or continue on their anti-racism journey toward a more equitable future for those who've been marginalized for too goddamn long. Let's learn about this month, though, a little bit. So, Justin, tell us, what is the origin of Black History Month?
Okay.
Give it to us.
So after some extensive research, I wanted to make sure I have my information correct. In 1915, in response to the lack of information on the accomplishments of Black people available to the public, historian Carter G. Woodson co-founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History.
1915.
1915.
Like, just let that sink in for a second. Like, my grandmother was born in 1918, and she's dead now, but she just died a few years ago.
It was a generation, 2 generations
not even
ago, right?
Right, 2 generations ago. That's insane.
That's insane to think about that on that timeline.
It is. Okay, give us more.
And in 1926, the second week of February was made Negro History Week to recognize the contributions of African Americans to U.S. history.
So why was it that week?
So this week was chosen because the birthdays of both Frederick Douglass, an abolitionist.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Someone who wants to end the practice of enslaving people, and former President Abraham Lincoln. So their birthdays were in that week, so they were like, let's just do it that week.
These guys aren't for racism. They like Black people.
Yeah, so let's just push it on that week.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, it
cool.
seems really contrived.
It does seem a little contrived, but as
really
is most things in our country. Literally, we just celebrated a groundhog yesterday, so
right.
Hence that opener.
Weird
Easter
thing.
egg. Go check it out.
And then the week-long event eventually became Black History Month in 1976.
I was born in 1980.
Right. That's when it became Black History Month.
So 4 years before I was born is the first time Black History. Well, no wonder I didn't learn about it in school.
Right.
It was barely a month.
Because it was barely a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
that's crazy.
We have fucking National Donut Day.
Yeah. We have Dr. Seuss Week.
Yeah. But like, it took until 1976 to actually have Black History Month where we see these contributions.
That's amazing.
Like, it's ridiculous.
That's amazingly.
President Darryl Ford is the one who extended the recognition words.
Your words working today?
Words working today. To honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every era of endeavor throughout our history.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad we got a month. You know, like finally in 1976. Great. Like I say that tongue in cheek a little bit, and I know I'm probably coming across incredibly sarcastic because I am being incredibly sarcastic, but. You know, it's really disappointing, although it's not surprising since, just a few years earlier, it was illegal for a Black person and a white person to marry in a bunch of states. So I guess I shouldn't be too shocked that we didn't celebrate the amazing contributions Black Americans have given to the world until the 1970s.
It's ridiculous.
But
it's
here we are.
It's insane when you think about it.
But here we all are. And I don't remember a time in the 10 years back where people were talking as loudly as they're talking about today on why it is so important to celebrate the accomplishments of Black Americans, why it's so important to recognize the value that this holiday or this, month brings and actually learning something from it. Like it's, I'm happy we're doing it. I know I sound like I'm not, but I'm just... it just blows my mind that there would be a lack of wanting to understand everybody's contributions, regardless of what race, like, but particularly from races that are not like you. Like, not everything has to be invented or created by a white dude.
No.
So, like,
and a lot of the things invented by white people were actually black people,
That's
and
right.
the white people took the credit.
That's exactly right. Yes,
We all know Thomas Edison created the light bulb, but a black guy invented the filament. Thomas Edison just pulled the air out of it, right? Like, I'm pretty sure. Fact check me on that. If I'm wrong, please leave a comment below and let us know.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, like, because when I read that, I was kind of astounded, just like, wow, we don't talk about that at all.
No,
Thomas
we don't.
Edison invented the light bulb, but not all of it.
All right,
So we just blow over that.
So, what does Black History Month celebrate then?
It was created to focus attention on the contributions of African Americans to the United States. So it honors all black people from all periods of U.S. history, from the enslaved people first brought over here from Africa in the early 1700s, which, fuck.
I think it was like the mid 1600s, like the 17th century.
Into the 17th century, sorry.
Yeah.
And to African Americans living in the United States today. So among some of those people are Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Of course, we talked about that. Yeah.
We learn about that. That was a very pivotal moment.
Man, your words really aren't working today.
I'm excited and fired up. Like,
Yeah.
this means a lot to me.
It does, and I
it
can
really
tell.
does. So like, I get a little like excited. My brain's working faster than my mouth is. That was perfect, right?
It really was. I mean, it really was. But I really love your passion. I wish, and I'm grateful for all the people who are as passionate as you, who look like you. Like, the fact that you're fired up, and I think I have a little something to do with that. Maybe raise the fire in your belly a little bit more.
Yes.
To have allies is just so incredibly pivotal to the success of the Black community. Because without your influence, which you have, your privilege, which you have the opportunity to decide to lift others. And that's what we talk about when we talk about privilege. So I'm grateful that looking at you, and again, this is not, we don't script our shows for clarity, but we do kind of put bullet points of where we're going to go with it. And when we do videos, which we're going to do here in just a second, I'm off script, like way, way hard right now, because Justin is really, and we were talking about this before the show started. He's not nervous, but had a lot of energy because he's really passionate about this topic. And I think that that's all anybody is solving for, is to get people who have the ability to affect change in a different way and use their platform and their privilege for others, not just for your own personal gain.
For good, and that doesn't just include you. That includes everyone.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So it heartens me to see your passion for this topic, because it's obviously incredibly close to my heart. So,
well, maybe my passion will help others get passionate as well. Like, that's the idea. That's why we're talking about this and getting passionate and raising our voices as well.
We must use what privilege we have to talk loudly about the things that make some people uncomfortable, like race. But we have to talk about it. As uncomfortable as it is, we must talk about it. It's critical.
It is. I wanted to say that there are a couple more people, like Thurgood Marshall.
Ooh, yes.
Who I think was the first African American to be appointed into the United States Supreme Court.
That's right.
In 1967.
That's the same year of Loving versus the state of Virginia.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There you go.
How about that?
And if you don't know what that is, I talk about this a lot. So if you watch this show, you probably do. You probably don't know the year, but that's when interracial marriage became no longer punishable by jail. Was that case?
That is crazy.
The Lovings. That's why Loving Day is celebrated in Virginia, and a lot of the. Have you seen that on the East Coast? So I didn't know about it till I lived on the East Coast early in my career, like right around 9/11, and I didn't know anything about what Loving Day really was. And my parents, I knew the case, right? I obviously know the case because of my parents, but it's just called Loving Day. And I was like, is this like another Valentine's Day? I didn't realize that it tied to that. And I think that's a great thing that is celebrated on the East Coast. Wish it was celebrated in more places.
I wish it was too.
But it was done in Virginia. So, it's Virginia.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, we are for lovers. Like, isn't that their slogan on their license plate?
I don't know if there's a tie-in for that.
I wonder because
it is. Virginia is for lovers. We've really derailed. I lived in Virginia and I should know these facts. I don't. I'm gonna look this up because I don't know what one begets the other or wow.
Or if it's just coincidence.
You've blown my mind right now.
So
all right,
back on track here.
Back on track.
So how can your organization make meaningful change to its people strategy?
Or even have one. Because a lot of companies don't have a people strategy at all.
Which it should include diversity, equity, and inclusion by someone who knows and understands how to help you not be performative,
right?
Doing PR basically,
right?
But rather create a culture where everyone belongs.
Well, we certainly have a lot of thoughts and some tips. The first is invest in a people strategy. The same money, efforts, and dedicated leadership should go into your people team as much as it does your operations team. So think about that as no ancillary part of your business. This should be an ingrained piece of your company strategy as a whole, whether it comes to winning and attracting clients, customers, or just create a culture where people go and get raving fans when you leave. It's incredibly important to invest in a people strategy.
It is.
2, I'm really passionate about this one. Fire brilliant assholes. Okay? Like, say it with me. Fire brilliant assholes. Because, it's really critical. You can do every piece of engagement, happiness survey, feedback surveys, anonymous whatevers, anything you want. And if you're consistently getting feedback about one person, investigate it and do something about them. I don't care what they've done for your organization. I don't care if you've known them since you were in diapers. This is someone who is making your workplace hostile and the number one killer of workplace culture. So it is incredibly important that we fire the brilliant assholes. Here's the thing. You risk your reputation. You risk losing employees who aren't assholes. And you open yourself up to lawsuits because we are not taking your bullshit anymore.
No more.
So fire the brilliant assholes or we'll take you down. That's just kind of how it is. There are defense funds and legal options and lots of resources for employees who are wronged by organizations when organizations think that they have the upper hand because they have unlimited funds or in-house counsel. No. Those days are gone. You can't just be a dick and sweep your bad behavior under the rug anymore. You just can't do it. You can't pay it off. And when you can, know that when that NDA is over, people are coming for you.
Yeah.
3, work with outside community organizations, specifically that are led by people of color. Don't. And I'm a white person who does DEI consulting, right? But you need to work with organizations who in your community that locally champion for people of color and other people in marginalized communities, LGBTQ. We're talking about Black History Month. This is a Black-focused, a race-focused episode. So anything your organization is passionate about, which should be all things people. Work with outside community-based organizations to help you.
And then listen to them, right?
The fuck up.
Yeah, listen. Don't wait to speak. Listen.
Exactly. You must. It's critical.
Very.
Then you must commit out loud and publicly that you're going to do the work, and then you need to do it. Otherwise, it's just PR and it's not DEI, and we don't want DEI. We want DEI, not PR. And I know I talk a lot about this, but having an anti-racism culture is something to celebrate. So we do want the PR too, after you've done the work, after you've made meaningful steps forward in your anti-racism and belonging and inclusiveness and diversity journey. We want to hear about it. You should celebrate that. Candidates want to hear about it. Employees want to know what you're doing, want to see the representation that they haven't had, want to understand your commitment to understanding how to make the workplace better for them. Walk the talk. And then finally, and I say this like a broken goddamn record, be transparent, right? And communicate. This will solve all of your problem. Stop being so secretive. You don't need to be. You don't want to have pay disparity. If you come in and you have a chief marketing officer who doesn't ask for X because she just doesn't, she's a woman, and the rest of your exec team has equity because they did ask, and they're all men, and you're like, well, we can save some bucks by not offering it to this broad. Don't do that. Be transparent about your pay practices. Be transparent and have less lawsuits. Be transparent and have less negative word of mouth when you learn that you're $100,000 less than your counterparts and you're completely lied to about it during the process of negotiating your salary. Don't be that organization who's that, right? Don't do that. Put pay in your job descriptions. Stop making discussing pay a terminatable offense. And it's just not pay and hiring. Like I've said, be more transparent and communicate more. You want to know how to win. You want to stop attrition. You want to know how to create employee loyalty. You want to build a robust culture. Then create a workplace that treats workers like grown-ups instead of children. Stop subscribing to the tired norms of yesteryear. And when you stop doing that, lo and behold, a lot of the stuff that's discriminatory in your place right now, and it is everywhere. Please don't mince my words. Sexism, racism, misogyny, bigotry is in every single office.
Every single
across
office.
the world. This is not a US phenomenon. This is an everywhere phenomenon. And here's the thing. Smart organizations, when they have it come to their attention, do something about it quickly, swiftly, and publicly.
Yes. I really, really hope companies listen and take this free advice, free for the taking, for you.
And we can give you even more customized advice for a fee. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. Seriously, we can help you. Don't go it alone. And if you don't want us to help you, let us know, because we have lots of friends all over the world in any kind of discipline. And we are happy to give non-commissioned referrals. We just want to help people get educated in this space of having a solid people strategy that includes diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and tackles some of the tough conversations that we talk about on this show, like racism.
Yeah.
Like sexism, like misogyny, like ageism, like bigotry, like ableism, all of the things. We want to help organizations do better for their people.
Yes, we do. And
there's just no way around saying people are critical to your organizational success. The old, tired norms of yesteryear, the sweeping bad behavior under the rug and having people be complicit in your bad behavior, that's over.
Done.
It's over.
Done.
So if you want to learn more, visit notthehrlady.com. We would love to help you. In addition to being wildly funny, incredibly attractive, and super interesting with our scripting, we also actually have a pretty cool consulting firm where we help organizations just do this all over the world, and we would love to help you as well. All right.
Yes. So in what we do, we like to use humor because it really connects with people.
The name of our company is Not the HR Lady, and yet we are hired for HR consulting. We just want you to know up front that you're not getting...
Yeah, you're not getting this box checker.
Right.
Like you're getting new ideas and inclusive ideas.
Yes.
But we like to use humor
yes.
to really kind of pull people in, and we feel like it's easier to kind of digest what we're saying when we use humor, much like one of our favorites, Dave Chappelle, to spark a conversation that's transformative in the world of work.
Yeah.
Like he's got a sketch.
Is it Clayton
Bigsby? Like one of my favorites.
Mine as well.
Yeah, like he's got this sketch where he is a blind black man who is the head of the KKK.
No joke, like the head of the local chapter.
Like, and that's crazy when you think about it. You're like, wow, that's like really insensitive. But if you watch the whole skit, what I got from that is he wasn't born racist. He was taught racism because he didn't know he was black.
He's blind.
Nobody told him his
they're
entire
all white.
life.
He does. So
Yeah.
he's like adopted, I think, right?
Yeah,
and so
I think so. Yeah,
right. So he's a white family, and he wears gloves, and he becomes the head of the KKK.
Yeah. So, but he was taught racism, and it was learned.
Right.
It wasn't born into him.
Right.
And I think that's where he was going with that. Is like, you are not born racist. You are taught to be racist.
Right.
And I thought that was like such a really good like sketch for it because it was really funny and it goes into like some really crazy shit, but like it's really good to watch and it really kind of pulls you in and leaves that little nugget in the back of your head like, huh.
If you're taught it, you can be untaught.
Yes, you can be untaught.
You can change your way of being and behaving and thinking. You have that ability. We're not born racists.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And so I love Dave Chappelle. It is one, I talk about him a lot in relation to my dad because that is something my dad and I shared. He introduced me to Dave Chappelle, introduced me to the idea and the spirit of, because at first I was like, Dad, like, this is not like, okay, like we can't, what is that? Like I was blown away. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. A lot of Dave Chappelle stuff is very out there. And I was pretty young when I started watching him. And, I'd been my whole life taught that you can't say the N-word, obviously, right? That's a forbidden word in my home. My dad hates it. My dad didn't like it when my brother went through the phase of, saying the one with the A on the end to his friends. Like my father was like, that's inappropriate. Why would we want... I get the spirit of taking the power back, but like that's a disgusting word that was meant to harm us. Like, right. So I've had all this whole life of conversation. And then there's Dave Chappelle doing all the things that I'm like, what? And then I grew to love it because like you, I understood the message and my dad helped me understand it. My dad helped me understand that sometimes the easiest way to give people the ability to see things differently is by using humor.
Yeah.
Is by getting
really
them.
Connects.
It really connects. It really drives the point home. And I love that about Dave Chappelle's work. In fact, I'm really hoping that Dave Chappelle is not going to sue us here in just a minute. I don't have anything, but
we're not showing the whole episode.
We definitely aren't, but we are. And I just want to be clear because we are going to show this here in just a second. We are going to show a clip and we are not authorized to do it, but Dave Chappelle talks a lot about being paid for his work. In fact, he has a great special that was some other stuff got shown on Netflix, and he talked about not getting paid royalties on that stuff for some other agreement, and ended up pulling the content. So I want to be clear that we want Dave Chappelle to be paid for this work, and so we are making a donation. He is a huge activist and a huge proponent of people, and so we are making a $100 donation in his honor for allowing us after asking for forgiveness and a $100 donation after the fact to show this clip, which is I Know Black People. So enjoy a laugh.
How can black people rise up and overcome?
How can they rise up and overcome? Well, can they overcome?
That is correct.
Reparations.
That is acceptable.
This is a rap lyric?
No, I'm sorry.
This is a general question.
Actual question.
All right. There's a complex answer there.
That is correct.
Staying alive.
That is correct. That is correct.
Or stop cutting each other's throat.
That also is correct. How can black people rise up and overcome?
Get out and vote?
That is incorrect.
It's so funny.
I've seen it like 33 times, and it gets me every damn time.
When I was putting that together, I would just watch it, not to like do any editing after it was done, just to like really keep watching it because it was hilarious. The whole to vote? That's the wrong answer.
I love the tongue in cheek there.
It is
Right.
the tongue in cheek, and like right in the beginning of, well, I don't know, can they? That is correct. Like it's
And then the really
tongue-in-cheek.
heartfelt one where he's like, "Stay alive."
Yeah, stop cutting each other's throats.
Right, and Dave
then-
Chappelle's like taken aback, like, "Fuck, okay, I didn't expect
Yeah.
such a deep answer." Right,
Right,
because
and then
it's
the
a
other
comedy
guy
show.
that was like, well, there's a complex answer there. That is also correct.
Also correct.
Like,
I really like Dave Chappelle. I find a lot of inspiration from his work, using humor in storytelling to help illustrate and hopefully affect change. So we made our own video where we asked our Black friends. So check out this first segment, which is by Black people for Black people. So Black people, pay attention. This one's for you.
Black people have always risen up and overcome. The issue is that there are systems in place that don't allow them to enjoy the fruits of their labor. So for Black people to rise up and overcome, what we need are white allies to tear down and dismantle the systems that have kept them in their place.
No silent allies.
Please don't wait for permission to be great. You and I, we stand on the shoulders of giants. We are worthy, we are deserving, and we are more than enough.
No silent allies.
One thing we can do is create economic empowerment, and that can be as large as using minority-owned suppliers or as small as shopping at Black-owned gas stations. The thing is, we are small in population, but our dollars are huge. So we need to recognize that fact and start to direct those dollars in a place where they're going to support our community.
yeah.
Okay, like just first off, thank you to
Yes.
Stacy, Ricklyn, and to Darryl.
Thank you.
Ricklyns, don't wait for permission to be great. We stand on the shoulders of giants. Woo!
Love that.
All the goosies.
Love that.
All the goosies. I'm J-Lo in American Idol. Kelly Clarkson singing.
Yes, like
right?
that really hits home. And I'm glad she was able to do a video for us.
I am too.
I think she's
Thanks,
amazing. One that really got me was Darryl. We are small in population, but our dollars are huge. Like, yes, 100%. And I think like that's where that kind of tongue in cheek of get out and vote.
Yeah.
Wrong answer. It's
Right.
like, right, there's not enough population, but there is more dollars that can make a change.
Absolutely.
And-
People are spending money. We can choose where we spend it.
Yeah.
Support Black-owned businesses.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And there's plenty of them. And a little bit of research. In fact, if you just go to our page, there is a Black resources. Click on it and it will show you all of the organizations, some of which may surprise you. A lot of you business professionals probably use Calendly. Did you know it is CEO'd and helmed by a Black man? Now you do.
The more you know.
Right? The more you know. So we asked a slightly different question to a different group of friends.
Yes. How can white people help Black people rise up and overcome? So white people, this one's for you.
By supporting and amplifying the voices of our Black brothers and sisters in any way we can, by listening to their concerns, getting ourselves educated, and then helping to educate others.
No silent allies.
You can activate your privilege to help those who are from marginalized group. You can speak up. You can educate yourself. You can listen in. You can advocate for a better.
No silent allies.
So, white people, you're always in a position of privilege. It's like having a superpower. You can make a difference just by choosing to. You can have an impact just by saying racism and oppression are a problem, and that will start to spread. It's a ripple now, but imagine if it were a tidal wave. When you're silent, when you look the other way, it's the same result as being racist because nothing happens. Systemic racism is real in your city right now.
Yes.
Okay, so Tony said one that just got me, and it's so basic, everybody. Listen, get yourself educated, then educate others who look like you.
Beautiful. That is beautifully said.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes. Activate your privilege.
Activate
Vivian
your
said
privilege.
that. Speak up, educate yourself, and listen. Look, we're all saying the same stuff. There are easy ways to get on an anti-racism journey.
Yeah. Evans, when you are silent or look the other way, it's the same as being racist. I mean, it's the silent approval. By not saying anything, you're
right.
saying a lot. You're
right.
saying, I allow this.
Right? That's no silent allies.
Right. No silent allies.
And if you guys didn't catch what we did there, if you watch the entirety of Dave Chappelle's skit, which we will link on our website at notthechrlady.com, in between all of the takes, it says, Black people. And so I was like, okay, well, what if we do something similar, but we use a hashtag we use a lot, which is no silent allies.
Yes. I thought it was great. It was really good.
We hope you guys like it.
But serious, but also tongue in cheek.
Totally,
right?
totally. So, hey, before we go, do you know the history of I have Black friends defense?
So there is an article on the Associated Press website where Tyler Perry, not Maida, not the one you're thinking of. Medea.
What is with your vocabulary today? You're having a moment.
I'm having a moment. It's okay.
I love you.
Maida. Medea. That's what I meant.
It's not even written down.
It's
not. I
it's
love
just
you.
my brain.
You taking a day today.
My brain is
fried.
A little fried. It's a little fried.
Makes me think of the chicken fry song. I don't know why. I don't even really like country music. When you said that though, just then, like that in your shirt made me think of like whoever that guy is that sings that song.
I don't know.
Brown.
Something chicken fried.
Come on a Friday night.
Fit just right.
I don't know.
Turn the radio on. Whatever.
I don't know.
That song. Yeah.
That one.
But anyway, not Tyler Perry.
Not him.
Not the one you're thinking of
No.
that does all the movies.
Yes.
An associate professor of African American studies at California State University in Fullerton.
Woo!
Yes.
Lots of friends who went there.
He said using Black people as political props is something that has occurred as far back as the 19th century in debates about slavery.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
People use the I have Black friends defense?
Yes.
Give it to me.
Like in an antebellum era, writings by former slave owners, right? They would often describe their relationships with slaves as a friendship, as a way for them to justify their stance on slavery. So yes, these are my slaves, but like we're friends, so it's cool. You know, like they love it here.
These are my slaves.
Yeah, like they love
That's
it here.
Terrible.
It is the worst
Terrible.
kind of defense. And I feel like that's kind of where this like stems from, right?
Yes,
like
absolutely. So
whether you know that or not.
Now you know that.
Now you know. Like
Let's
this was an
stop.
actual conversation.
Yes, this is real. Again, you can fact check this. Like, let's stop adding. I have Black friends. Some of my best friends are Black. I work with Black people. I went to school with Black people. I dated a Black guy once. Like, to make you think that what you're saying or what you're supporting isn't racist.
Yeah.
Because it is. If you have to caveat anything you say or any stance you take or anybody you defend with the defense of, I know Black people.
Yeah.
You have to go take a long, hard look in the mirror.
Yeah. I mean, if you truly want to be an ally, you need to get uncomfortable and learn
That's right.
to listen.
2 ears and one mouth.
2 ears and one mouth. Don't just wait to speak. Actually listen and take it in.
Yes.
Like you must own your privilege and leverage it to lift others. I think that is the most important. Using your privilege to lift others, not just yourself.
That's right.
To stop racist behavior and to call out someone who will listen because of your influence.
That's right. Privilege isn't a bad word.
It is not a bad word.
Unless you make it one. Unless you make it about you. And one more. Allies aren't silent and never tolerate racism in any form. This includes you, organizations, including within the C-suite.
Yes, including the C-suite. Absolutely. Nobody is exempt from this. Not one bit. Everybody needs to use their privilege to lift others.
And to be actively
anti-racist.
Yes. Yes.
Because if you're not anti-racist, what's the opposite? There you go. Well, all right. That's a wrap. Episode 2 of season 2.
In the can. Thank you to Exec Wranglers once again for sponsoring our second episode and sponsoring tomorrow's live show. So we do an after party to discuss the topics of this show, which is anti-racism. And we are going to have some of your favorites that were featured on this episode.
Wait, is Dave Chappelle coming?
Join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern and find out. I'm sorry, tomorrow is Thursday. Join us Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern and find out, or at a minimum, chat with us and our Black friends and our white allies, of course, on what's sure to be a very quick hour. RSVP at notthehrlady.com and click events. I'm Tara Fioriani.
And I'm Justin Boggs. And this has been Not the HR Lady. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Not the HR Lady.
Engage with us on any social platform at Not the HR Lady and visit our website for more people stuff at notthehrlady.com.
New episodes will be out every week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.